Hello, and thank you for joining us today for Frost and Sullivan's latest webinar from our Tech Vision practice. Today's event is titled Smart Electronics for IoT Opportunities and Disruptive Applications Revealed. My name is Anna, and I oversee Frost and Sullivan's growth, innovation, and leadership briefings. Before we begin our event today, I'd like to go over a few quick notes. This presentation will be available immediately on demand, and you can view it at the conclusion of the webinar. You can also safely share this webinar at any time by clicking on the share button. On today's presentation, we will have some detailed slides, so there is a full screen feature available to you at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Today's presenters are from our Tech Vision practice. Our presenters are Kasturi. Kasturi is the Research Director and also Associate Fellow here at the Tech Vision practice. Her biography, along with her LinkedIn address, is located here on the page right now. Next, we have Jebis. He is our Senior Research Analyst. His biography is listed on this page, as well as his LinkedIn contact information. And we also have Varun. Varun is our research analyst, and his biography can be viewed on your screen at this time, along with his contact details for LinkedIn. With that, I would now like to hand the presentation over to Varun. Please begin.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this briefing session on smart electronics for IoT applications. The briefing will specifically focus on flexible electronics, printed electronics, and stretchable electronics. This briefing will also cover how these technologies disrupt the industries, enabling wide range of applications. At the end of this briefing, participants will come to know about the impact of large area electronics in various applications, various strategic alliances in the market, growth opportunities, and future roadmap of flexible, printed, and stretchable electronics. Moving on to slide number 5. In the recent years, there have been many innovative products and evolving new technologies for consumer electronics. These disruptions are boosting the semiconductor and electronics manufacturing industries to the next level, especially with the advent of Internet of Things. A smart electronic system is identified as a broad class of miniature and intelligent devices that are universally connected and energy efficient. They incorporate functionalities like sensing, actuation, and control. Every electronic device that you handle in your day-to-day activities can be made smart. Estimate shows that over 440 million, including connected mobiles, health, entertainment, and smart home devices will be sold in 2020. The convergence scenario of flexible electronics, printed electronics, and stretchable electronics forms a smart large area electronics. The advent of these types of technologies can be addressed as being close to the pinnacle of digital age, being a fusion of mass production, computer design, innovations in circuit board printing, and microfabrication. There are many potential applications of printable, stretchable, and flexible electronics, from innovating consumer devices to creating a fully censored industrial operations. So how the connected intelligence is enabled by smart large area electronics? Basically, the smart electronics are intelligent devices that are universally connected and energy efficient. It is integrated with many subsystems and diverse components such as application-specific sensors, actuators, analog to digital converter, analog interface circuit, bus interface for RF and wireless communications, power sources, and energy storage devices. Its functionality include self-identification, self-testing, self-validation, and self-adaptation. The electronics market is rapidly adopting unconventional manufacturing tools and technologies that fit well actual needs and requirements for flexible, stretchable, and large area application. Some of the common examples include flexible photovoltaic, flexible lighting, flexible displays, flexible sensing system, and intelligent objects. Now moving on to next slide number 6. As we all know, the flexible electronics is an emerging product concept and are often defined as electronic devices that can be bent or stretched without being damaged. While these flexible electronics are considered a novel product concept in comparison to standard rigid electronic devices, initiatives like new innovations, low cost and capacity expansion are expected to drive adoption. Around 7,644 patents globally have been published in this area, and over 600 million funding have been raised by government grants, venture capitals and investors. The main current research focus areas is in flexible electronics are developments and advancements in substrate materials, display panel manufacturing and packaging, enhancing the flexibility in substrate and developing thin film transistors. Flexible substrate materials such as glass, metals, polymers, papers, stretchable and hybrid substrates are used for the development of flexible circuits, and these have also been identified as the key enabling components for determining the performance of flexible electronics. There are some key competitive strategies where OEMs can adopt for rapid technology or product commercialization. The first strategy is fostering collaboration. A well-designed company can foster the collaboration strategy where the needs such as cost, equipment and pre-competitive research are achieved in a collaborative manner. The next strategy is reducing the development cost. Consortia and other collaborative mechanisms can cut the development cost and accelerate the development and commercialization of new technologies. These mechanisms can also play an important role in workforce training and developing a domestic supply chain and relevant standards. The next strategy is driving national programs. Foreign governments have made consortia, which is a significant feature of national innovation programs to support flexible electronics. For example, in European regions, there are more than 40 consortia of various sizes that are mainly focusing in wide variety of applications in flexible electronics. The next strategy is formulation of consortiums. Consortia can reduce individual company risk, share the investment cost, facilitate the development of industry standards, provides a focal point for collaboration with public research organizations, and enhancing the technology diffusion and providing an early-stage basis for development of industry supply chains. The last strategy is the development of roadmap for pre-commercialized and near-to-market applications. So what is next in flexible electronics? Flexible hybrid electronics is the future in flexible electronics market. Flexible hybrid electronics is an innovative process that combines elements of electronics industry with that of high-precision printing industry. With the flexible hybrid electronics, manufacturers can create sensors that are light-weighted, conform to curves of human body, or stretch across the shape of an object. By integrating ultra-thin silicon components to high-precision handling, printing conductive inks, and pasting on stretchable substrate, flexible hybrid technologies will transform the electronics industry. Flexible hybrid electronics will bring electronics out of the box and integrate them directly into the wearables, manufactured items, and structures. Some of the applications include food industries, precision agriculture, and smart medicines, which are expected to be highly impacted in flexible electronics market. The next slide, number 7, is on the significance of printed electronics. Fundamentally, the printed electronics enables the development of electrically functional device by printing on a variety of substrates. Printed electronics is characterized by simpler and cost-effective fabrication of high and low volume products. Globally, around 6,051 patents have been published between 2012 to 2017, and in that North America accounts 67.7% of total patent publication. The funding amount of more than $120 million has been raised during this tenure. For processing of printed electronics, we need materials such as conductive inks and chemicals for printing the components. Some of the major materials used in printed electronics are solvent-based silver conductive ink, graphene film and graphene inks, polymer additives and chemicals, and silver nanowire inks. The current research focus areas in printed electronics are involved electronics and developing future wearables. Inbound electronics is an emerging and hot area in printed electronics. In general, the approach tends to be suited to applications where high volumes of low complexity circuits are required. Therefore, mechanical switches used in the automotive and home appliances sectors are primarily initial targets. By leveraging this technology, thin and elegant devices with structurally integrated electronics can be developed. The suppliers claim that leveraging this technique, 70% of the product weight can be reduced, and this technique also reduces the manufacturing processes by 30%. The next is the developing of future variables. Printed and flexible electronics are allowing the development of devices and electronic components that can be integrated directly onto the skin, which will pave way for next generation of wearables. New high conductivity inks can be printed on elastic materials in high resolution without losing their functionality. Let us look into some recent initiatives in printed electronics market. Henkel Adhesive Technologies further strengthens its expertise for printed electronics by investing in Copprint Technologies, which is based in Israel. The advanced materials startup has developed a novel technology for producing conductive copper inks that can provide substantially low cost and variety of printed electronics applications. J. Olodi, which is headquartered in Tokyo, is the first LED maker to market streams which use a lower cost printing process, where organic color materials are deposited onto glass substrate in a way similar to that of inkjet printing. The J. OLED, which is owned 15% by the Japan Display Corporation, has shipped OLED panels to Sony Corporation for use in medical monitors. The DuPont Electronics and Communication and Host Center collaborated for developing advanced materials for printed electronics in the industry. DuPont will contribute new materials and research samples targeted towards research areas where wearable electronics, inbound electronics, consumer electronics and healthcare are highly impacted. The next slide, which is on stretchable electronics, where it is a technology of embedding electronic circuits, systems and devices in stretchable materials like polymers or silicons. Although the components used are similar to those utilized in the fabrication of common printed circuit boards, the choice of the substrate is different. While printed circuit boards employ rigid substrates, stretchable electronics use stretchable substrate materials. In this area, more than 900 patents have been published between 2012 to 2017, and there has been a good funding support from government agencies. Typical choices for substrate materials used in stretchable electronics are polymers and rubbers. Researchers are increasingly using substrate materials such as silicons and polyurethanes. One such research initiative of European Union called Stella, which is stretchable electronics for large area applications, has identified that thermoplastic polyurethane as an ideal substrate as it exhibits the desired elasticity and hardness required for stretchable electronic circuits. Polydimethylsiloxane, which is otherwise called as PDMS, is widely used in stretchable electronics manufacturing as it is a silicon-based organic polymer. This material is ideal for pressure sensing applications. Some common applications of stretchable electronics include displays, integrated chips, large area printed circuit boards, tunable antennas, and power supplies. Some research focused area in stretchable electronics market are the electronic skin, which is otherwise known as e-skin or artificial skin. It is generally an ultra-thin electronic material developed by integrating electronic devices on flexible and stretchable substrates. Electronic skin is considered to be a significant due to its ability to be flexible and stretchable and to allow integration of semiconductor components such as antennas, LEDs, power sources, and nano-sized drug delivery systems. Advancement in electronic skin enable technology developments such as flexible and stretchable displays to be imprinted on skin. Researchers at MIT and several other institutions have developed a method for making photonic device which is similar to conventional electronic devices, but this is based on a light rather than electricity. This photonic device can be bent and stretched without damage. The devices could find users in cables to connect computing devices or in medical diagnostic and monitoring system that could be attached to the skin or implanted into the body. Now moving on to the next slide, which is on driving and challenging factors impacting the growth and adoption of large area electronics. Large area electronics are extremely lightweight, flexible and stretchable. Adoption and propagation of Internet of Things will provide motivation for wide-scale adoption of large area electronics. The small size, low power, signal processing and communication capabilities of the large area electronics will prove to be a key success factors driving the growth opportunities in various industries. The large area electronics technology enables new applications. One such example is the smart packaging, where we can envision the integration of small displays in the packages of various consumer products. Applications such as skin sensors for medical application are also made possible owing to extremely thin form factors. The consequent benefit that can be derived out of higher production volume is devices with lower cost. The device integration becomes much easier for the manufacturers. Various manufacturing techniques are being applied to the production of large area electronics, which includes printing, organic vapor deposition. There have been advancements in the area of roll-to-roll manufacturing of devices such as organic LEDs and other organic devices. The biggest implication of such technology is huge volume of devices that can be produced. Funding has been the major driver, especially in accelerating research and commercialization activities. With the increasing popularity of flexible, printable and stretchable devices, there are intense competition in the market, and this is complemented with influx of several startup companies and university spin-off trying to commercialize the new technology. Now coming over to the challenges faced. Despite various developments in the construction of smart devices for various applications, the economic production of such devices on a large scale at high yield needs to be established. Stable production process with high throughput have to be set up. Different applications require varying manufacturing technologies depending on the resolution and scale of the device to be patterned on the substrates. Designing of complex circuits requiring flexibility would need a lot more research. The resolution or the size of the device being patterned also affects the design techniques, where the devices in order of less than 10 micrometers would be harder to pattern onto the substrates. As devices become increasingly complicated, the operational speed of the device would also need to be increased to enable better performance. The performance and lifetime of such devices could be affected with exposure to water vapor, and effective encapsulation techniques must be in place to prevent degradation of the device. Shelf life of the device is important, especially in applications such as printed batteries. The devices must be able to withstand higher temperature and must be stable, especially during the production processes. Large area electronics being an emerging field, standardized electrical testing protocols need to be developed for accurate validation of research and development results. With the complexity of fabrication and circuitry, the flexible printed and stretchable device can come at a relatively high cost. However, in the future, with advances in the quantity of fabrication and micro-machining, it will be possible to develop these devices at much lower cost. Large area electronics are largely in R&D stage, and very few have reached the commercialization stage. In the healthcare and consumer electronic sectors, some flexible skin patches have been commercialized in the market. The absence of demand can be attributed to the lack of awareness of flexible electronics and printing technologies, and people are not still convinced about the efficiency, uniqueness and applicability of flexible electronic products, which is the main roadblock in terms of market growth. The next is the large electronics device for medical applications such as disease detection and monitoring need to undergo strict regulatory processes to be able to serve consumers. Over to Jabez.
Thank you, Varun, and a very good morning to everyone. Now that we've had an in-depth analysis on the advancements in the flexible electronics and the large area electronics technology front, let us discuss about the market. So according to Frost & Sullivan analysis, we infer that the large area electronics market is expected to reach a cumulative market figures of a little over $70 billion by the year 2027, with a healthy compound annual growth rate of 8.85%. There are three major factors which is driving the market here. A, it is the government funding. B, it is the strategic alliances. And C, push from OEMs to explore new applications. As mentioned earlier, various government bodies are supporting various projects which are associated with the advancements in printed, flexible, and stretchable electronics. European Commission in particular is funding a number of projects in this domain. We also see that strategic alliances has proved to be vital in the growth of this market. Partnership between material providers, academia, OEMs who are associated with the development of smart devices like smart TVs, wearables, are working on advancing the solutions to develop more pervasive solutions. And C, it is a push from OEMs to explore new applications. With constant competition in their respective markets, organizations are keen to stay abreast in the market and to stay competitive in the market. And flexible electronics proves to be one area which would help them gain the market share. Established flexible electronics participants in the Asia Pacific region in particular are pushing the boundaries to explore opportunities in smart wearables and smart skin. In a nutshell, the concept of digitization and Internet of Things is creating new opportunities for partnership and is transforming the industry. The operational participants and the technology developers across various sectors are collaborating amongst themselves for the development of products which enable IoT applications and other disruptive technologies. Moving on to the next slide. This slide gives us a high altitude overview of some of the key applications of large area electronics. The key applications are associated with advancements in consumer electronics, energy and environment, healthcare, and wearable devices. In consumer electronics, Frost & Sullivan analysis infers that displays are going to be the largest share in the flexible electronics development. In energy and environment, flexible voltaic modules can find innovative applications such as providing sunshades above the car parks as well as generating valuable power. Their low weight and flexible nature make their deployment easier and cost effective. It also has applications in healthcare. The attributes of printed and flexible electronics may help provide solutions in applications ranging from in vitro diagnostics to wearable medical devices. Applications like disposable lab-on-chip for testing, packaging of medicines, and user-controlled diagnostics are some of the other applications. We also see that stretchable electronics will permit developers to create soft robots. These soft robots can be used to implement minimal invasive surgeries in hospitals. Wearable devices is another application which would be impacted by advancements in flexible and printed electronics. By integrating flexible electronics in fabric, it has a potential for a number of applications. Many universities and research organizations are exploring on this front by integrating PV in fabrics. Smart fabrics will have a high impact in the wearables industry by 2020. Moving on to the next slide, we see some of the future growth opportunities of large area electronics, especially in IoT applications. Internet of Things is the convergence of smart electronic systems, which is composed of emerging technologies such as smart homes, smart packaging, and also in smart health and wellness. When there is a convergence of multiple technologies, we do see these applications come alive. In smart packaging, it is a combination of printed electronics and RFIDs. The companies such as Kreiner Printronics is using this and is developing printed RFID sensor platforms suitable for tamper-proofing and temperature logging applications. Electronic skin is another future opportunity which is obtained by the combination of flexible or stretchable electronics, communication technologies, suitable materials, and sensors. Vivlank Inc. is developing a wireless electronic skin patch which is suitable for real-time healthcare monitoring. The product is based on eSkin technology, which is flexible, breathable on an electronic substrate. Another convergence scenario which is suitable for smart homes is a combination of flexible electronics, communication technologies, and sensors, which leads to the large area home activity sensing, suitable for connected homes. A company based in Germany, FutureShape, has developed a sensor system called SenseFloor that is underlaid in the textile-based fabric covering large floor area. This sensor system is built with a 32 capacitive proximity sensors, which is suitable for the location of the presence of individuals and also determines the velocity and the direction of movements. And finally, in smart textiles, which is a combination of flexible electronics, communication technologies, sensors, fabrics, and suitable materials. We see LG Innotek working in this space has developed a flexible textile pressure sensor. Moving on to the next slide. This slide discusses some of the key innovations in this space, which is based on expert interviews and Frost & Sullivan analysis. We do see a list of companies who are working on the development of flexible electronics. So we do see that there is advancements in flexible microcircuits, there is developments in flexible displays, we do see fingerprint sensors and X-ray image sensors. There are also advancements made in flexible transistors, and also we have companies working in the smart fabric sensor space as well. These are some of the companies who are working on these products and will have their products commercialized in 2018 and we have in the following years as well. So we could expect all these products to be commercially available in the short term. Moving on to the next slide, we have another list of companies who are working on the development of flexible electronics. So we see Heliatech, which is working on the development of flexible and organic solar films. We also have companies on thin film electronics and Pragmatic who are working on similar space on printable memory and as well as in flexible integrated circuits respectively. L'Oreal, which I would like to mention, has launched its first ever stretchable electronics product called My UV Patch, which is developed in collaboration with MC10, L'Oreal Group, and Pacific Coast Highway International. It is a transparent adhesive patch that can be applied directly to a human skin. Moving on to the next slide, we do see some of the key developments and innovations from the research organizations front. We do see the universities and research organizations such as the University of Maryland, University of Wisconsin, and others who are working on the similar space and working on the development of graphene transistors. We have NanoSet who's working on silver nanomaterials, and also we have the Zhejiang University who's working on the graphene-based aerogel for use in flexible electronics. These are in the research phase and few have been demonstrated, and we could expect results in a medium term. Moving on to the next slide, we do see innovations on the material front. Companies such as Innova Dynamics, Polyonics, Atlanta AG, and BGT Materials are exclusively working on the development of suitable materials which can be implemented in flexible and printed electronics. Silver nanowirings and flexible substrates for high-resolution images, solvent-based silver conductive ink, and large area CVD graphene are some of the areas which are being explored by these companies and which are commercially available. With this, over to you, Kasturi.
Thank you, Jabez. Good morning, everyone. On slide 17, we have highlighted some of the strategies that we think can enable technology demonstration and commercialization phases. The first one is strategic alliance, second is center for excellence, and then third is driving annual conferences These are some of the strategies which has been identified based on the initiatives that are happening in the industry. For example, strategic alliance in the form of JVs or collaboration or partnership leads to development of novel substrates, functional links, materials, as well as innovative manufacturing techniques. We have a couple of those examples highlighted on the slide. One is between E-Ink and Japan Display, which has formed a strategic alliance to diversify its business scope in electronic paper or e-paper beyond the LCD market. We also have another example, Konica Minolta and Pioneer Corporation, which is into a collaboration for accelerating the business for OLED lighting. We also have other examples of companies like Infinity PV and GM, which has formed a partnership for consolidating their competencies in areas of organic solar cell manufacturing. Battery Innovation Center along with Brightold is involved in developing next generation thin film rechargeable solid state batteries. Another example is the collaboration between Token Thins, which is into smart packaging systems for IoT, with Pragmatic IC, where the partnership is intended for leveraging Pragmatic IC's flexible integrated circuits into the packaging solutions of Token Thins. And then we have Izorg collaborating with FlexEnable to basically develop a high resolution, flexible large area fingerprint sensor. The second point is about centers of excellence. So we see organizations, mainly the research centers, emerging from research organizations and laboratories focusing on printed and flexible electronics, also receiving a lot of funding from the government agencies, driving a collaborative platform for accelerating technology development and commercialization. And one such example is the Hall Center, along with Philips, that is involved in demonstrating a curved photo detector, which is based on a plastic substrate, and this is for medical IoT applications. The third is about we have a convention, which is the large area organic and printed electronics, which is conducted every year, and this is also driving developments in printed and flexible electronics. So what we see is these annual conferences are setting the stage for driving demonstration prototypes and thereby speeding up the commercialization and attracting interest from various stakeholders in the industry. On to the next slide. This basically gives a picture of what we see is going to happen in the flexible, printed and stretchable electronics technology area over a period of 8 years, and we have drawn a roadmap based on the applications and the initiatives that are being taken to drive different industries. So for example, if we analyze OLED lighting, we see R&D activities spinning around white, red, multicolor devices, and also the aspect is all about transparency. We have organizations trying to explore newer applications within OLED market. With respect to organic photovoltaics, what we say is more about integration and companies trying to explore new applications for the technology area. Within displays, it's more about considering different aspects such as flexibility, curved, transparency features, foldability, conformability, and also looking into different applications. We also have some interesting applications which are highlighted under integrated smart systems like an array of pressure sensors, hybrid RFIDs, and then we also have smart bandages, skin patches. So overall, what we think is consumer electronics will continue to be the high impact application, and this can be driven by display area. And also we see the flexibility aspect, for example, in solar cells can open up various opportunities, and energy harvesting technology along with that can pave way for new applications and products. This can be combined with ICT technologies like AI or big data, AR and VR, and where we can think about newer applications emerging within this space. In the long term, we can have examples of military and healthcare sectors driving adoption. And obviously, Internet of Things in various industries will drive the market growth. On to next slide. So this slide basically kind of gives a picture as to what we think from a top level perspective that various stakeholders in the industry have to do to make the adoption happen within the printed and flexible as well as the stretchable electronic space. So the first point is the change in the mindset of traditional semiconductor manufacturers to move on to embracing flexible, stretchable conductor materials. And also the second one in terms of embracing advancements in manufacturing technologies. One can think about using 3D printing and also leveraging ICT technologies like AI, big data into large area electronics, and this can lead to real-time data analysis as well as strategic decision-making phases. On to next slide. This is a very interesting slide where it demonstrates electronics as the heart of convergence. It drives industry convergence and thereby new applications. We have combinations of electronics, sensors, ICT, manufacturing, leading and also newer material technologies enabling smart factories or Industry 4.0. And also combination of electronic sensors, ICT can open up opportunities in connected homes and also smart household appliances. In terms of healthcare, we have highlighted future hospital rooms where one can think about using smartphones with ultrasound capabilities and also smarter displays. And also obviously the self-driving cars which are opening up opportunities in the mobility sector. So definitely electronics is driving a lot of industry convergence, and collaboration amongst various stakeholders is driving these developments. Next slide, please. This is a final slide where we have highlighted a few of technology convergence examples. So we have done a combination of different technologies in different industries, and we have come up with new ideas by making those combinations. For example, one can think about a smart building energy management system where we can leverage advanced energy management technologies, plus smart glass and plus artificial intelligence and plus a micro OLED to come up with a completely new management technique for the energy sector. We can also think about electroceuticals where you can combine neurostimulation, wireless charging, plus wearables, plus biosensors, and kind of make the future of healthcare into completely new paradigm. And we also have an example of next generation cochlear implants where you can combine rapid charging plus wearable electronics plus neuroprosthetics. And we've also highlighted a few other examples of next generation digital assistant systems, baby mode tracker, and holographic assisted robotic surgeries where we can use holographic displays plus surgical robots plus 3D printing plus mixed reality and also optical biopsy. So basically to conclude, what we think is the future of electronics is not just going to be an electronic chip by itself, but the combination of innovations from different industries like materials and ICT is going to drive the adoption of electronics in various industries and also open up opportunities for industry and technology convergence, and strategic alliances is what will set the stage for this shift to happen. So this formally concludes our presentation today on smart electronics, and I pass it on to Anna for the next discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishori. Now, at this time, I'd like to open up the floor for our question and answer session. So if you do have a question, you can click on the Ask a Question button, type your question, and we will try to answer as many questions we can live. If for some reason we do not get to address your question, the team will get back with you offline. So let's start with our first question here. With respect to large area electronics, large area sensors in particular, can you please tell me what are the potential applications?
Yeah, so the large area sensors are considered to be an array of sensors that are fabricated together on a flexible or stretchable substrate. These large area sensors distinguish from the conventional type of sensors, which are typically a single chip. Considering the form factor of this large area sensors, which is characterized by thin, stretchable and flexible form factors, and it can be fabricated using low-cost mass manufacturing printing techniques. So coming to the application sectors, in the chemical industries, the large area sensors exhibit a very high sensitivity, enabling detection of minute traces of chemicals even at parts per billion ranges. And in other applications such as automotive, there is an ability to sense minute changes occurring in the mechanical parameters of the vehicle accurately, and also enabling generation of alarms to the user in case of an emergency situation. And in the robotics area as well, the large area sensors in the form of electronic skin technologies have opportunities to be used on the robotic arm, which senses the objects using touch and reacts accordingly. Yep.
Thank you, Vedin. Our next question, regarding flexible electronics, how will the flexible electronics impact the OLED industry?
Yeah, I can answer this question. So as we see the advancements in the consumer electronic space, we see OLED as a display being adopted in smartphones for the past few years. Even with the launch of iPhone 10, you'd see that even Apple has entered into OLED display. But now, what next for those companies? So next, we see that flexible electronics is something which they will look into, and which they are looking into right now, based on the research initiatives and the investments made by them. So imagine yourself holding a tab or a notebook, and you have a foldable display, so you can fold it into a size of a smartphone. So that is going to be something innovative and giving them a competitive edge. So these are something which they are looking into. Although we see a few flexible display demonstrations made by them, OLED can be expected to be highly impacted by advancements in flexible electronics, which we call it as FOLED. Apart from the display, so where we see that it will be adopted in the television space, in smartphones, in wearables, and in notebooks, we also see flexible OLEDs to have a high impact in the lighting space. You might wonder, why would it be impactful in the lighting space? So we have the OLED panels being developed, which is suitable for both display and the lighting. So we see a lot of automotive players investing heavily, and also, in fact, manufacturing them on a mass scale to have them commercially available by 2018. So in 2018, we can see a number of automotive vehicles having OLED lighting in their products. We also see the surge in the demand for OLED lighting with the recent, if you remember, LG has invested heavily recently, and has also mentioned and recorded a high production of OLED panels suitable for lighting applications. So the lighting applications would include, flexible OLED in lighting would be useful in applications such as automotive, aerospace, and also in architectural lighting. So yes, flexible electronics will have a high impact in OLED industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Jebus. And this concludes today's webinar. I would like to remind everyone, please contact us with any questions or additional feedback. We have some contact details on your screen at this time. We have Kasturi's contact email and then phone number. And also we invite you to visit our TechVision website and also visit us on Twitter as well. Thank you.